in God's name is going on in here? What was that ruckus?
What ruckus?
I was just in my office and I heard a ruckus.
Could you describe the ruckus, sir?
Okay, here's what I would have done. Bro, no one cares what you would have done. Actually, everyone cares. Welcome to Let Me Book the Territory, the podcast made for smart marks and nostalgia nerds. Brought to you by the Embrace the Turn Up Podcast Network. And now your hosts, A-Dub, B.A., E-Ray, and J-Mo.
Y'all ready for this?
Do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the greatest wrestling podcast of all time. It is Let Me Book the Territory. It is I, the quasi-bad guy, the Diet Coke of evil, the man of 7/8 teeth, Payne Malenko, Seth Freaky Rollins, here to reporting for duty. And I have my good guys with me. 3 of the 4 horsemen are here. Dub.
Well, it's the Dub Show. It's the big bad Dub Show tonight, y'all. What up, y'all? A-Dub in the building, the pod guy, the pod tribal chief in the motherfucking building. Feeling good. A lot of great wrestling. I'm excited. What up, fellas?
Hello there. You still constipated, I see. You need some like Imodium AD or
Give him some Docalax.
right. Docalax.
Oh, go let it out on the toilet tonight,
y'all.
So I can choke slam all these turds.
But slamming all them kids off in the pool. Understandable. But that other voice that you hear is the guy formerly known as Black IRS, the chin strap champion himself, B.A. DiBiase. B.A.'s in the building. What's going on, brother?
What up, y'all? It is B.A. DiBiase in the building. Everybody's got a price except me, unless you paying right. We gonna go
except
talk about
me,
that.
Unless you paying right, but I really do have.
Unless you gonna pay me right. Right. I do, but none of y'all motherfuckers can pay it. So y'all
called y'all broke. He called y'all broke. Did you hear it? He called y'all broke.
Smell like broke in here.
Right, stinky as fuck. Smell musty.
That's one of my greatest contributions to podcasting.
B.A.
Smell like broke in here.
Oh yeah, that's beautiful. I'm gonna take that around with it all day. But B.A. DiBiase's good, man. I'm out here living. Yeah, man, I'm ready to talk this wrestling shit, man. The landscape is changing weekly, daily. Fuck, so let's get into it. Let's go.
Right. I was like, we were just singing that Sam Cooke, and change is here now. Change. It's been a long time coming.
So E-Ray, so
but the change
talking
is
about
here.
these changes. So unfortunately, somehow me and you were halfway wrong last week on the pod. I mean,
and how about BA was 100% right? Can we say that too? No?
Revisionist history.
No. BA credit a little bit. Revisionist history.
Wait. If we crank the rightometer, we can give them. You know how they be like.
Put me in the middle.
We give them like a.
Oh, come on,
all
man.
Right,
and then the machine malfunctions for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because BA was right for the first time ever. Shit just explodes.
It had to bust all the cobwebs off that shit. Because you still owe us some hunching, some premium live hunching.
Oh, I ain't forget, man. I ain't been on.
I know you ain't. You've been sweating every night thinking about. Oh God. Oh.
Literally. As B.A. DiBiase started working out again, started hitting the workouts again this week. Yes, when B.A. starts working out again, the metabolism starts going, and B.A.'s a sweaty motherfucker, man. I can tell y'all that now.
Whoa!
I sweat.
Master of the hunch. B.A.
Yes, see, y'all gonna see a sweaty hunching video come across y'all Twitter timeline. So y'all ain't following us yet. Y'all should follow us now. There's gonna be some quite entertaining embarrassment going on at some point here in the next week or two. So yeah,
prior to the next premium live event. So we'll have that in the works for y'all. But as Dub alluded to, the change is here. Me and BA were partly right. Me and Dub were partly wrong. So we're gonna we spend it however we want to spend it, guys. The bottom line,
if you will,
is soon as we got off the pod, we definitely hit the spin Rooney. Soon as we got off the pod, five time wrongness. There was a immediate invasion of new talent, of one person that we thought we might never see because we thought he was taking control of his narrative. Apparently he still was, but just under a different banner. Kross is back in the WWE, and he's back with all his accessories. Tell us.
He left the ball gag at home. No, that's at home still. The ball gag.
Left the ball gag and brought the ball and chain back.
Once upon a time, Adam Cole told us that they did everything to make that man cool. They gave him the girl. They gave him the smoke. They gave him the cool music. And they said, without that, you're nothing. And Triple H was sitting at home like, damn it, Adam, you're kind of right. So Triple H was like, hey, Karrion, you want to come back? Karrion's like, oh, I'm controlling my narrative now, Hunter. He's like, yeah, those guys are getting ready to cancel their European tour, so come on home. I'll give you your smoke back. What about my bitch? You can have her back too. What about my music? Have her back too. Do I have to use the ball gag? No. I'm back. And there it is.
Can the screen go black and white when I show up? Yes, you got it,
So we
Karrion,
got-
all that.
Right.
Yes.
What about the sand of time from like Prince of Persia?
You sure
I
can.
have that too?
Sandman's coming out on
Karrion.
Netflix.
Yes,
Do some cross promotion. It'll all work.
Yeah. He was like, wait, one more thing. He was like, I'm almost there. I'm ready to sign on a dotted line. But must I remain bald? He was like, nah. He was like, I got this new
No,
hair.
Hunter was like, wait,
I
you
am
can
ready.
grow hair? He was very confused.
He's like, yeah, I was doing that as a fashion statement. What you thought I was Jordan out here? He said, oh shit. He came back looking like one of those damn CW guys. Hey, I'm Dean from Supernatural. I'm like,
Right,
what the fuck is happening? Like, hell, Dean Winchester and this bitch. I was like, let's go. I'm excited. Karrion Kross is back, choking motherfuckers out with a cool jacket. Got his sweet wife, his hot white wife. And
all the Scarlets.
Yeah, Scarlett Johansson's. And yeah, everything that we've ever wanted from the original Karrion Kross that I loved, at least. I won't speak for everybody because some people were rejecting this vehemently in NXT. But everything that I loved about the character, immediately I was like, I don't know why I'm so hype about this dude, but I like him. Is back, and it feels like it's refreshed and it's new. It's better than ever. How do you guys feel about Karrion Kross coming back with all this shit and being immediately put into some type of like prominent role, because he went straight for Roman and Drew McIntyre.
BA, go ahead, get your shit off. Since you was like 48% right, go ahead, get your shit off.
I'm gonna take 52. Give me over. Give me over that hook there.
51.5.
Majority owner of the yes in the right being right there. 52%. Dan Gilbert out here. Shout out to my Cavs fans. But anyways, yeah, since when Karrion Kross was actually actively wrestling in NXT / main roster, I was not on the show yet, so I never got to really talk about Karrion Kross and what I thought about his presentation and all that fun stuff. I'm in the camp with E on Karrion Kross. I liked his presentation in NXT because it was so different than anything else that was given us at the time. It was fucking dope until Adam Cole just like dressed that shit down and put it to bed. It was like, you're not allowed to get up until I tell you to get up. But
from a midget. It's like
right.
Kevin Hart said, you know what I'm saying, people? Shut the fuck up. You're a bitch. And Karrion Kross looking like, that's like The Rock versus Karrion Kross. The Rock versus Kevin Hart was Karrion Kross and Adam Cole, and I was like,
big fact.
Karrion sitting there confused, like, wait, I'm a
side
bitch
note
now?
real quick. Right.
Like,
And the side note, real quick, I hear that Dwayne and Kevin have like real life beef in real life, but they just deal with each other because they make so much damn money. I've heard that before. Yeah, but we'll get into that later. But Karrion Kross, as regards to him coming back, I was very excited to see it. Ray, you mentioned that he came after Roman. Eventually he's coming after him because Roman was just kind of like looking like, what the fuck is this? Like, this is, I'm finally entertained type shit. Right. And I think you're gonna see some shit between him and Drew first, because Drew had tweeted out like like he shook that weak shit off type of vibe when he got jumped basically from Karrion. Let's call it what it is.
Jacket.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
So I mean, me personally, especially because I kind of called it and thought he was gonna be the next guy Trips was gonna call, because he purposefully didn't sign with anybody and was doing all these indie shows with the CYN guys and whoever the fuck else just be floating around the main indie circuit. I think that he like I'm sure like we talked about in our group chat, not publicly yet. Trips told that dude don't sign nowhere when he was coming back and getting ready to come back. Maybe, and I feel
right
like
out
this
of
is
heart
also
surgery.
No, not
Don't sign nowhere.
that man had other things to worry about. I'm more speaking to when he came back in the fold and he saw, I'm sure when he came back in the fold, the stuff about Vince, what we've already known now, that was starting to rumble in the back end. And Triple H was telling guys he knew that weren't locked into these crazy cocaine-fueled contracts in AEW to hold off. Some shit's about to change. I got an inside track. I can't tell you legally or I will get in trouble by the SEC, but some shit's about to change. Then keep your options open.
Gotcha.
So,
Quote the great
yes,
Kevin Hart.
I'm very
shit's
excited
about
to see
to
Karrion
go
Kross.
down.
Big facts. Big
Well,
facts.
Dub,
So
your thoughts?
I'm with both of you guys on the presentation of Karrion Kross and NXT. Like, I saw it and I was like, this is really cool. I'm like, I don't know how much monster heels are gonna work, and they might need to give him character, but they never needed to. I was like, all right, I'm in. I like this. I hated that he had to beat Keith Lee to get the title, but that's a whole nother thing for a whole nother time. But what I love is that they're introducing him the way you're supposed to introduce an NXT champion. Like, once NXT became this thing that we were all like aware of, that's how you introduce a champion. Like, when Big E got called up and like not many people knew NXT, cool, introducing us Dolph's heavy. Same with Seth introduced with the Shield and Bray and all those guys. But when NXT became what it was, when you put guys on TV, they need to be in prominent spots. Like, and that's where I thought Vince was failing, like, repeatedly. Bobby Roode, Shinsuke, like, shit, Drew. The list goes on and on of guys that had these amazing NXT runs.
Hey,
yeah,
I don't want to steal your thunder, but everyone, literally everybody that came from NXT, it started to become a running joke. It's like, hey, we're going to pluck them from NXT. They're going to lose. They're going to lose some big match to try to give some rub off to some of the guys that are still in NXT. Then they're going to randomly show up, may or may not keep their same name. And then we're going to just put them in like random matches.
Random tag teams.
And see how they float for a year. And then after that year, because if you remember, same thing happened with Riddle. Riddle is one of the biggest things on the main roster today. Yet, when he first got there, he feuded against Sheamus. He feuded against a few other random people and lost to them all.
Everybody has to feud with Ziggler.
All in the mid-card fodder, as they say.
All just whatevering him. And I'm like, dude, he looks too good. He's having such a good run. And then he just had to sustain and become like, all right, let me just weather the Vince McMahon storm of bullshit. And then he started coming back around, started getting his footing. Same thing happened with
Shinsuke only did his intro for like 3 weeks.
Like with Chad Gable, he was done. Like, at least they were like, hey, Shinsuke, we got something here. Because, you know, Vince just likes to toy around with Asian people. So he'd be like, yeah, just do whatever shit that you be doing. And I'm like, all right, cool. But because he loves Shinsuke's intro and entrance and how big it was, and he liked the same with Asuka. Like, when he came in, he's like, oh, we just Asuka, and he loves that. But other than that, it's like whatever. But when it came to those people like Chad Gable, when he came in, He was like, oh, no, we like Jason Jordan. Whatever you gonna do, guy. You're Shorty G now. And I'm like, what? And then that clearly didn't work, and it wasn't getting over. And then he returned him back to his roots. Now he's, again, one of the biggest guys in the company. Smallest big guys.
He fought through that bullshit. That's why he's one of the biggest deals in the... Yes,
you gotta last that year.
I feel like it's like hazing, man.
I promise you, it kind of is. And it's like, hey, we're gonna rib you for a year and see if you can just make it through some of the worst gimmicks, see if you're a team player, see if you're versatile. And then if you do, hey, we'll see. We'll be open to some of your options.
You know, it's funny. KO has been doing the same thing for about 6 months with this Ezekiel stuff and all sort of stuff he's been doing.
Mm-hmm.
Triple H comes back and says, "Hey, kill people again." And KO's like, "Bet, bet."
Start power bombing people off of the top road again.
Yep. And like, even though what KO was doing was entertaining,
is getting you.
I was like, "This is the KO that I love." Now he's back to just being just sadistic, being the type of heel that people legitimately boo because of the things they do versus them just being worked.
AKA NXT KO. That's what he did over
there.
He was a fucking hardcore maniac on that roster. Yes, that's what we want. That's the KO we love.
Yes, and again,
it's great.
You can have good matches. You can do everything properly. But I did want to address one of the things that you said, A-Dub, earlier, which I think is wrong. You said that's how you introduce a monster heel, and you don't know how monster heels work. The only reason why Karrion Kross was a monster heel is because he was on NXT with guys that are legitimately Kevin Hart size. You bring him on SmackDown, he looks like a regular dude.
Just as big as everybody else.
Yeah, if not smaller, honestly. He's like right in the, like, he doesn't look big. Like, you got Drew McIntyre and Roman.
Yeah, the same size as those guys.
He don't look like no monster heel. He just looks like
an angry guy.
And honestly, he looked like he got a little smaller since he was his first run. He looks like he trimmed down a little bit.
It's the hair.
It's just the hair. Hair slimming. It's like black. Like me, we're all black. I got a nice coiffed hair here. Like, if I shave my hair bald, I would be fucking the Rocky. I'll be like, damn. I'm like, my bad, guys. It's the hair. The hair's an illusion. But, yeah, I just think that he looks right with these guys. And that's why I was like, Karrion Kross was made for the main roster. So I didn't know why they, like, I understand them kind of giving him a little bit of thing. The TikTok, all that stuff was dope, and it was great presentation. But number one, he didn't need to beat Keith Lee. He didn't need to do, like, pretty much dog walk all of our NXT favorites, because that's going to automatically make that audience reject him, which they did. But when they brought him up, the one thing that Triple H understands that Vince never did is continuity. Bringing them up, it's kind of like when we used to play, was it NCAA 2K or NCAA 2000, whatever, and we'd be like, oh, crazy, we make these great characters, and then you could play the NFL game and bring them up and upload the roster. Yeah, that's Triple H. Vince McMahon was like, oh no, this is over. Yeah, go do this now. Like nothing. You got to make a whole new character, and then hope they work out. You don't get none of your attributes no more. None of the cool shit you like. We don't even have those options.
You had zeros again, and you on Sunday Night Heat.
Better yet, you got to pay for the VC credits. You got to give. It's like pay to play shit. It's like, wait, what? I don't even like this game. I want to go back to college.
It's funny. It's funny you brought up continuity, because I thought something big that happened on Monday that hasn't happened in the past, 10 years, was Corey and Byron brought up Dakota Kai and Io Sky's now. Their rivalry, not the rivalry.
Yeah.
Them knowing each other, going back to NXT, and then even further, going back to Japan. Acknowledging that the rest of the wrestling world exists is something that Vince refused to do through his entire tenure. The closest you ever got to it was Corey saying, hey, I've known so-and-so for a long time. And that was it. Nothing about the indies or NXT or anything. I mean, Corey could do it with everybody, with like Dean and like everybody that was on NXT when he was there. Balor, all of them. But this was even more important because it's acknowledging that, hey, the rest of the world does exist, and we are the pinnacle, but we're still bringing people from the rest of the world for you to see. And I think that's a huge thing for continuity.
Right.
So you can say, when guys start coming up, like, oh, back in the day, they had a crazy rivalry in NXT, and nothing's changed since then, blah, 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 blah. You're like, oh, okay. So these guys all do work in the same place. Got it. To me, I think that's going to be a huge thing going forward, but maybe I'm crazy.
Yo, it's E-Ray, the quasi-bad guy, the Diet Coke of evil, the side god of pod, and I'm here to tell y'all, come check out my show, Binge Flicks and Chill. You never know what you're going to get, but we always talking some good shit when it comes to television and the latest movies. So we want to bring y'all in. We want to make sure you have a good time. You learn something, you laugh, you cry, you might stab a nigga or two. I don't know what you're going to get, but that shit's popping. So come check out Binge Flicks and Chill. And it's me, E-Ray, and I'm out.
No, not at all, bro. You are dead on. The fact that the rest of the wrestling world and people's histories before they showed up in WWE are going to be acknowledged is, if anything, is going to help unify the wrestling community and stop it being just so like blood and crip type of fucking vibes when we talk about wrestling. And the fact that WWE is acknowledging this is a huge fucking step. Like you said, Dub, Vince never addressed the competition. He thought it was just a way to like not give them extra pub. True, I get that.
But it discredits your roster too.
You're trying to play your crowd as
like, don't sit here and tell me Samoa Joe's a rookie on the roster. What are we talking about here?
Right. We all know we've seen him in TNA at the very least, even though he really cut his shit up in Ring of Honor, as far as him making his name. But no, I was going to say, like, as far as Vince, with the whole just deading all of that stuff, it just showed how out of touch Vince was. Like, yes, in the 80s and 90s, when you were squashing everything and eating up all the territories and becoming the biggest player in the game, yeah, you don't have to address these motherfuckers because you are who you are.
Just take their belt.
Just like anything in corporate America or whatever, shit changes and evolves and it turns into different things. And if you don't stay with that evolution, you're going to get left in the background. Even though you changed the game so much and created the gap to be so huge as far as you and the rest of your competition, you still got to address them so you respect your audience at the end of the day. It's disrespectful to your audience to think that we don't know that Cody Rhodes used to be in AEW or fucking Seth Rollins used to be named Tyler Black in Ring of Honor. Like, that's disrespectful. Like, you got to tie that in somehow. So I'm glad that they're starting to do that through commentary slowly but surely.
I'm going to disagree only slightly. I don't think it's as egregious as y'all make it out to be, because who cares? Like, we know WWE is the big boy league. It's like when somebody magically gets re-signed from the big three, the NBA don't gotta fucking acknowledge that shit. We don't care. Like, hey, you're an NBA player now. But the problem is when they acknowledge NXT is now a third brand and not acknowledging the continuity between that's my issue. Like, you don't have to acknowledge anything outside of WWE, but at least within the WWE, NXT, Level Up, UK, I don't know, what was the other
anything
shit?
Branded with WWE
so
behind it.
I'm not saying like acknowledge it like that. I'm not saying like, don't tell me about Finn Balor was the champion of the Super Juniors in Japan or something like that. But like these guys they're bringing in, don't tell me they're rookies. Like when Bobby Roode came up, one of the big things that bothered me is that Dolph Ziggler treated him like, oh, you're new around here, kid. First of all, Roode is older than Ziggler. Secondly, he was on NXT for like 2 years as their champion. Thirdly, he was one of the biggest stars in wrestling at the time when he got there. Like, don't insult our intelligence and just like present everybody as like this. Oh, they're brand new. We found them. Like, no. Don't tell me other accolades. I don't care what everybody did at Ring of Honor, but I know they were there, and I know they're not new to the business.
I hate this. I hate that you guys are making me side with Vince somehow, but
we're not though. We technically, I think we all agree here.
No, you're making me side with Vince because the problem is he is a rookie to the WWE platform. Everybody that we know that watches wrestling, like the mass audience that they actually cater to week in, week out, don't know who the fuck Bobby Roode is. Like, they don't watch NXT. They have seen Dolph Ziggler for years. They don't know who Bobby Roode is. So Bobby Roode, even if he was the biggest thing outside of the program, he's not there. So, and he's not an AJ Styles. There's only a certain few people that had that mega crossover appeal. And even AJ Styles wasn't like, everybody was like, oh my God. It was a few people, a few marks.
But E-Ray, I was gonna say, you kind of like you to go back to your own point. What is it, E-Ray? Is it one mic or is it Uchiwali? In the sense of,
That's a nasty existence.
Yeah,
hell yeah,
duality,
Nasty Nas,
baby.
Yes, Nasty Nas.
But no, go ahead, continue. Because
I was just gonna say that you can't have in this light. To preference, I agree with you. The NXT not acknowledging was way more egregious than them not acknowledging like their indie backgrounds. Completely agree, but you can't be upset that they are gonna address those things too. Is all I'm saying. If they're gonna address their tenure of NXT and how great they were in NXT, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, well, I guess that's the point then, because I don't have an issue with it. I'm not mad at it at all. My problem is just saying that you're making me side with Vince because you're not going to go outside of this and like, unless you have to, which most of the times you don't, because Daniel Bryan came into the WWE uberly accomplished. He also came through NXT as it was with The Miz as his coach.
Yeah.
Try to fathom that. Make sense of that.
And that's been part of his
The
story
Miz,
the
who
entire
wrestles
time.
the most WWE style there is, that was a reality star, is coaching Daniel Bryan, one of the best technical wrestlers on the planet.
Oh yeah,
But
you be read as disrespectful. Gotcha.
But it also works because The Miz had somehow figured out how to translate whatever he did to being like a failure and still working hard to make sure that he made it. So it did make sense, but at the same time, understandable why some people be like, that's fucking egregious. But that's what I'm saying. Like, these people have all these huge accolades, but that stuff don't matter once you get here. It's like, hey, I was 5-time arena football champion. Fuck out of here, Tommy Maddox.
Yeah.
Bitch, you on the
Right.
Steelers now. Shut your ass up and work. And that's it.
I get that.
So I mean that in the most respectful way possible. I clearly know, you ain't gotta address him as like, hey, Mr. Rookie Samoa Joe. This nigga's 58. Like, that don't make sense. But
He's about to be applying for Social Security.
Right. Look at Cassius Ohno. This guy started wrestling when he was 52. Like, no,
Right,
that's not what I mean.
Like
But what I'm
Ciampa was
just
in like
saying
the
is,
very
as far
first
as
wrestling match of all
continuing
time
their
against
story.
Bobby Fish, and before Vince left, exactly.
George.
Before Vince left, Michael Cole was calling Ciampa a rookie, a new face. I'm like,
King Kong
I'm like,
Bundy
Ciampa ain't new to
versus
shit.
Ciampa.
At WrestleMania 2 instead of Hulk Hogan.
Electric Mania. I'll say Electric Mania. WrestleMania 2 Electric Boogaloo. But yeah, again, so to button that point up, that's all I'm getting at. I understand 1,000% why they do it, but I just want to see continued continuity, which Triple H understands, continuing to move forward and evolve that particular like namesake from what was built up in NXT. Keep the shit that was already working and just help it work, because then that means, guess what? If we see these guys that are big on NXT and they kind of keep that same momentum / their whole like shtick, maybe that might inspire some of your general audience to go watch NXT to see like, oh, who are these guys? Because that's what it did for me. So I think that.
and then like you get the.
I will
magic-
ask
Go ahead.
N-Dub. I want to ask y'all this before we move on. I want to ask y'all this question because you brought up a good point about making sure Trips does a good job with like just keeping things consistent. Because nobody's perfect, guys. That's why I asked this. We all in every endeavor we have, we are striving to be as best as we can. We're not perfect in everything.
Said
So-
J. Cole and Missy Elliott. Nobody's perfect. Thanks.
I say all of that to ask, where do y'all think Trips is gonna fall short at as he kind of figures out, as he said, walking into the big shoes of running the whole thing? Where do y'all think is gonna get tough for our guy Trips? E-Ray, I'll start with you.
Honestly, I think he's gonna fall short at probably keeping that main audience, like the big kind of outsider perspective wrestling crowd, the guys who didn't necessarily love like wrestling, but they just like the big attraction type shit, like
the fringe
Brock
fan, the guy that shows up
Lesnar.
for WrestleMania, and that's
Yes.
it. They'll cut on when WrestleMania's on. And
Brock
don't give a fuck about any
Lesnar
other time.
versus Logan Paul. Like, why? I don't want that. But some people love that shit, the jackass shit. We probably would have never got some of that type of stuff with Trips, and I think that's going to be what he falls short on, because I don't think that's the stuff that he loves, and understandably, because I don't either. NXT did not have much of that at all, and I think as it continues, it's not going to have a lot of that. But that's what made that Black and Gold incredible to us, but also shielded a lot of people as a barrier entry, because they were like, what is this? I don't really understand this. So that's where I think he possibly will fall short of. But that's just my guess. What do you think?
Tag team picture. It's gonna be tough sledding. Hear me out.
What?
We need a dub, but dub was wrong. Wrong.
So
But, sorry. Go
unless
ahead.
he
Continue.
bolsters this
Here you
roster with the mid carders and the guys that can form into tag teams again, the overall picture, like who are your tag teams besides the Profits and the Usos?
Right now,
Right now.
or what do we see?
Right now.
That's a difference. Well, right now he's 2 weeks on the job. That's like saying,
Yeah,
what's
he still
your
got the
expense
same
report
same,
right now?
same
Like,
roster. Like, right, he still got the same players. Unfortunately, right now.
Because Dub, lest you forget, we mentioned this all last week, but NXT Black and Gold era, one of their best things that were not talked about.
Right.
the
But
tag
on this
team.
main roster right
But
now,
I don't
all you
think
have
it's
is the
gonna-
Profits and the Usos, and you have the
Right
New
now.
Day, who one of them's either injured or one of them's doing G4 at all times, and the Viking Raiders, who even in this heel
Leave Austin
turn
Creed
can't get over. Like, I see that being a struggle in the immediate future. I'm not saying it can't get better. There's tag teams that can call up and get it better, but in the immediate future, that's what's going to be the struggle, especially with him trying to, get this women's tag team roster off the ground again, get the women more time on TV, and then probably trying to make those mid-card titles special. Something has to suffer.
Well, let me ask you this really, really quickly. BA, when you said when you said what he falls short in, you didn't mean like right now, like 2 weeks, right? You
No,
probably
not
meant,
at all. I'm just saying,
within
like,
the Trips reign, right?
Yeah, as he does great shit, there's gonna be shit that he doesn't do so great. That's just with everybody, every promoter. It's just nobody's the best promoter across the board in everything.
Oh, well, then the
Right.
answer is
But
nothing.
With that said, that's why you. Well, Dub,
The
that's
answer's
why I'm
nothing.
saying that's why you're
The answer's
wrong.
nothing.
'Cause he's like, he's gonna
Just let
fall
you
short
get
at
nothing
the
Somebody buy this
picture
guy
of
a Gabe
tag
shirt,
teams.
man. I'm gonna have to send you a Gabe shirt from the
Just
WWE.
like you'll get nothing
shop,
wrong. What are you
Dub.
talking about?
That's
No.
that's.
No. Black and Gold was
I
the
don't
greatest
even
thing
know
on
what I
television
say,
for
but-
3 years straight.
I was about to say, I asked that question and I wanted to see what y'all said. E-Ray kind of like, I completely agree with what that's my mindset was, because what's made WWE so great over the last 30 fucking years is the spectacle that it is.
Mhm.
That's what makes it such a draw, such a moneymaker, is the fact that you can get these celebrities involved, you get your French fans on there, you throw some music in the mix, you throw a bunch of
Fuck
fucking
'em.
expensive ass
Fuck 'em.
pyro and all that shit that they
Rock.
do.
Fuck them.
And Kid Rock making out with Ralphie May right there on television to the point where they cut it off of the main feed.
Ew,
You
get
get-
this shit off my TV.
You get attention in the mainstream. So that's how
True.
WWE did a good job of making their name before they became the powerhouse that they are now, out on the way up. I will say, though, what makes me kind of feel more confident is that Triple H is very well aware of that's how WWE became the monster that it is today. Great wrestling, not so much, because it's never really been known as a company to have like traditional, like just technical wrestling bangers. Like when I think of technical wrestling, I think
That's
more of
good.
like NWA, WCW, 90s, before pre-NWO era. Like when you would have like a Dean Malenko and Eddie Guerrero put on a fucking workshop for 20,
Dean
25
Malenko
minutes.
versus
Open
Rey
Nitro.
Mysterio.
Yeah, that's what I think of.
Psychosis or some crazy
Yeah,
shit.
man, or Juventud or Ultimo
Right.
Dragon. My guy, shout out to Ultimo, who I just completely threw under the bus like 2 months ago and backed it up and then ran him over again and back up and parked my car. So with
Love
all
me
that
some
being
Ultimo
said, right, I
Dragon
owe that guy like a
sleeper.
fruit basket or something. I need to send him like a turkey at Thanksgiving if he celebrates.
BA
Probably
is
doesn't,
so
'cause he's
rich.
not.
He just wants to send everybody gifts. That's why you need more
Hey,
rich
man.
friends, guys.
I just
Have
try to
more rich
spread the
friends.
love, man. I just
We
try
know.
to spread the blessings that were bestowed upon me.
You know, my broke ass
Cleanliness
like
is
to spread
next to godliness.
knowledge and shit talk. Because I'm broke. Nigga, I'm broke.
No, shut the fuck up.
Anyway.
Y'all, everybody rich and they rolling with BADBIC, man. Y'all just
Oh,
hopping
yeah,
the
apparently.
old school limo. Right. I gotta find a Virgil though. We gotta work on that. I need to find a white guy that I can make a Virgil. I can't have no black Virgil.
We all thought the same thing.
Oh, I already know.
and
I'm not
it's
gonna do
okay.
that.
Take a
But
sip
what
of my
we're-
drink.
Not
What I
even
was
going
getting-
there.
Everybody's got a price.
Take a
BA.
sip of my drink here.
Yes, they do.
So yeah, guys, Dexter
What?
Lumis is
yes,
back.
they do.
Ah, you just buried the lead. I was about to smoothly walk
No,
into
we,
it.
we
but
got hard
BA
left. Hard
just
left.
made A-Dub jump straight into it with a
Hard
baseball
left.
bat.
Right, exactly. He was like,
Jump into it the way Dexter Loomis tried to
Yeah,
jump over
Dexter
the barricade
Lumis.
at Raw. Huh? Huh?
Yes.
Yeah, getting arrested.
I was going to say, speaking of new installations on the roster, Dexter Lumis has been cited. That's somebody that none of us thought about. Another guy that Trips did really like have some nice things working with, and I'm curious how this plays out because they didn't even show it on camera, which was kind of cool actually. And I wanted to get y'all thoughts about
I
that.
agree.
Because
yes.
that didn't even. I was like, wait, what? Something happened, and I was like, they kept showing AJ Styles, like,
Yes.
ooh, something about to happen. And typically, it's always telegraphed. I was like, was it just me,
Let
or
me
was that did that
interject.
special?
BA.
BA hit us with.
Let me book this territory real quick. Yes, that's the shit that Trips is gonna bring, man. Trips is a territory guy, man. When he thinks about the wrestling he watched, he thinks about shit like when like the NWA was popping and shit like that before it became Ted Turner's WCW. That's the type of shit that he understands that people are gonna fucking vibe with because it seems real. That's why it doesn't seem like something that was planned, or you know that those cops aren't really cops. Those guys are just performance center workers. Like, no, they made
but
it
wasn't
legit
so
because
telegraphed, like, stab.
right, exactly.
I'm just here to get boot.
What is
booted in
this
the face
happening
and
on this
tackled.
camera that's positioned right on the crowd in this area? Like,
What's
it
going
was
on?
none of that.
Wardlow takes out
Right.
22 guards at one time.
See, I wouldn't even go
oh,
shit on
God.
AEW, but since we here, yes,
I
that
mean,
is
well, just
very
saying,
great example.
In comparison, because that's one of our big knocks on AEW is, hey, why is it always some random shit that y'all reaching into the past about and you expect us to know? Versus the Trips era thus far in WWE, it seems like he's grabbing things from the past stylistically
Yes,
and just doing it and not necessarily expecting us to know, but just like, oh, this makes it more engaging because we're like,
It's that.
who the fuck was that? And then you had
Yeah,
to watch
it's
the
that old
internet.
school
and then
territory
the
thing
internet.
of
Now you're
the
hoping-
cameras are still rolling, but we're out of time. Tune in next week. But instead of tuning in next week,
yes,
he's like,
you
yes.
have the option
So who was
of
it?
go to
Speculation.
WWE.com or go to WWE on social and see what happened after Raw. And if you can't do that, still next week we're gonna talk about it. I guarantee, like on Raw, they're gonna like interview AJ Styles, like AJ. At the end of Monday Night Raw, it seemed like someone was coming for you in the crowd, and just like, yeah, I don't know what's going on, and then something else is gonna happen, and then at some point, Lumis is gonna jump AJ.
You can just have to show up in jeans and
Yeah,
a
man.
baseball
I mean,
hat and pop up.
Since
Punch him
we're
in
on
the
the
face.
subject of Dexter Lumis, I want to hear y'all guys' thoughts, man. Because in my opinion, I thought like Dexter Lumis was just kind of just like mid-card NXT fodder. Outside of like his body and how he looks and how his character was modeled, what do you think Trips really sees in him? Like, I thought they were just trying to make him like Michael Myers type of vibes in NXT.
I think
and then
that's
he
exactly what it's
married
gonna be.
fucking
For sure.
Indie
Yeah, I
Harlem.
think that's exactly what it's going to be. I think they fell into the indie thing, And because it just worked so well, they just kind of ran with it. Like, oh, this is great.
And people ate that shit up.
It gave like 6 people shit to do on a weekly basis. But
what up, y'all? It's your boy Smiles, a.k.a. Hip Hop Adam Schefter, a.k.a. LaJosh James, a.k.a. for all the ladies, the Chocolate Sauce Bandit. You already know what it is. Tune into an Audible Ruckus every week. And don't forget to check out my 2 shows at Shot vs. Smiles and Music Impulse on all streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple, SoundCloud, Amazon Music, whatever. Tune in. It's your boy Smiles, and I'm out.
And he could draw.
Yeah.
So it was just interesting having this weird random character do weird stuff. And it's like, oh, it's kind of funny now. He can be a zombie guy in his weird house. Like, it was so many different things that evolved into. But the original Dexter Lumis character was just this creepy ass dude, because it was him versus the guy that shall not be named, Dream. And that's when you're like, oh, that's kind of weird. And he was just kind of stalking him. And it was Dexter Lumis, the eyes, the crazy piercing eyes. Like, of course, we know Dr. Loomis, but that's where they were kind of taking Dexter from Dexter, murder
the Showtime
and Loomis. So they was like, they just put together like a sadistic. He even wore the same gear that Dexter wore with the gloves and
the apron
and the Henley top. So it was very much that illusion. I think he, like, main card guy, I think he could definitely be somewhere in the mid card doing weird stuff, being cool, because he doesn't have to talk. But if you need him to like do promos and stuff, he can do that. He can carry that type of stuff. He's decent in ring. I think it grew a lot, because again, I was like, this dude kind of sucks. But then as they start making him do more stuff, I started rooting for him. Like, oh, this is pretty cool. So I think you can do some interesting things with Dexter, whether it be comical, or if you want to take like the serious approach, kind of like stalker, weird guy, whatever. I think it's just filling up this roster, because remember, Vince had this idea of cutting the roster down to like 25 people. He's just constantly working. Big main. It's
because he couldn't remember names because he was so old.
And now, and he cut their names off. Now they're like, people are getting their names back, or like, look, shit, we might find a
I was gonna say, Biggie Langston
coming back with Langston. Like, oh shit, Biggie Langston! But it's possible. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I think
from Langston Hughes.
Yeah, that should have been my dang. I forgot, because basically, if anybody hasn't known, pretty much all my AKAs are just like porn versions of wrestling names. So Big E Crankston was gonna be my name this week, but Seth Freaky Rollins will have to do. Other than that, though, I definitely think Lumis could be a guy that fills out the roster, and like, just, they don't have to be main picture guys or main roster guys, or main card guys, I should say, but they can absolutely be somewhere in the mid card doing things, because it's just interesting. And then every once in a while, like we just seen, they catch fire, and you're like, oh shit, now this person caught fire and this gimmick is working, and you don't have to kill it because you got so many plans for other people. You can just roll with the punches, kind of like Rusev Day got murdered, or how the Yes Movement got over, or Kofi Mania. So shit, Lumis can do something that can really go far and be projected. But right now, he'd be fine just kind of intermingling with
and what's cool about Lumis is the way that gimmick works, like the serial killer stalkerish thing, where like he can lose a rivalry and then be off TV for months, and no one really cared. He doesn't lose any steam, because his goal isn't to win matches, is just to be creepy and or kill his opponent. You're not really sure because he doesn't speak. Like, he can lose his rivalry to AJ, be off TV for months, and then one day just pop back up just looking at motherfuckers. And vice versa, if you need to write somebody off of TV for like 4 to 5 months, put him in a match with Lumis and have Lumis go too far. And the next thing you know, you can elevate Lumis a little bit. So he works out. He fills a great role on that roster to me.
As long as he don't start walking around with butcher knives and wearing a mask.
He might walk
I like
around
all
with butcher
of that.
knives.
Do all that shit. Have him stalking Goldberg. You want to bring back a spectacle? Bring back Goldberg and have him walk to his house. Hey, I'm just walking into my house with my big ass truck and look at my big goofy son. And then all of a sudden Lumis appears, like
just looking at him.
Takes his son away. He's like, Dad.
I'm here for that. Okay, you got me. You sold me with this gimmick.
Easy.
Okay,
See how quick that was?
You sold me.
He kidnaps Goldberg's son, and now Goldberg's just like busting in different places, warehouses, looking for him. Where the fuck are you? Where are you? And then Lumis is just like appearing in the background with gloves, taking different
just
members
standing
of his
behind
family.
him, breathing hard,
Yes.
not saying nothing. Yes, I'm here.
Crazy
Drawing
eyes. And
pictures.
you look back, and he's gone. Great.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
With that said, who else? One person, one pick each. Do you think we might see come back in the next 3 months? I want to give it a short time period so that way we can kind of cap it. But if you see anybody coming back, pick a superstar that you rock with.
BA, I'm gonna let you go first.
And then I want to know how.
Dev, I was gonna say I want
how
Dev
we
to go
use it.
first. I'm trying to think of.
Oh, you want me to go first? I can go first if
let's
you need
think.
some time.
Yeah, you go first. So I can think of the releases, and I can think of somebody that's probably a Trips guy he will bring back.
Andrade needs to get the fuck off that AEW roster quickly. He's been there for 2 years.
I think he knows it too
expect
per
that,
his
or you
likes
just
on Twitter.
You said what?
Yeah.
I said, do you really expect that, or
I
are you just
want
hoping
that.
'Cause
I
don't
want
see
that.
him leaving.
No, I was gonna say what I had said was his like. He liked some. You saw it in our group chat. If you go look at Andrade's Twitter page, listeners, he's liked something that where somebody was just like shitting on how he's being presented in AEW. So I think he's aware and sees what's happening. I'm sure he's a Trips guy because he had a great gimmick. Him and Zelina were great together in NXT, and
You're not
I'm sure that was
wrong.
probably Trips' idea.
But TK probably got him in one of them 3 to 5.
You know what? Andrade's not leaving for 16 years.
TK signing people to 360 deals.
So, right. So
Andrade's the
that's-
plug.
that's
He can't
Dub's
go anywhere.
wish list. Right. That's Dub's
plug.
wish list. I
We
don't know
call
if
him El
that's actually
Chapo in the
happening.
back.
Go on, Hefe.
He can't go.
Go on, Hefe. We need you.
Like, no.
Right.
Oh
man.
Okay, Dub. And then if that were to happen somehow by hook or by crook, where do you see him being used? Or book the territory of where he would come in, like time frame, and then what his first thing would be doing.
Ooh. Yeah.
We're doing a show here,
All right,
baby.
so
We booking this territory, goddamn.
Andrade comes back. You know, big money Andrade. He's got the diamonds on and stuff, and he comes out, and you know, Zelina's cutting a promo for him, and they're talking about how he's just gonna get ready to run through that roster. And my guy shows up, Santos. Comes out and tells Andrade that he is a disappointment to Lucha Libre, and that he needs to bow down to the new emperor of Lucha Libre. And that's the first feud he gets in. I don't know. I don't know. And then they kind of go from there with that. That's how I would debut him again. Because
On the main roster?
I think Santos' thing, he has to debut either against Andrade or Rey, and like kind of talk about like how they're disappointing the Lucha Libre culture, and just start gang wars from there. And I really think you can make Andrade a really dope like babyface with a like legato jumping him every week essentially.
True, because he crewed up, and
And
Andrade is
Solo
solo
Dolo.
dolo if
Yeah.
he walking in the door. Yeah.
Okay, I'm
I
not
agree.
mad at that. BA.
All right, I'm now ready, and I'm about to grab the lowest hanging fruit off of this release tree, the release talent tree. Our fucking guy, man, Mr. Gargano. Like he's kept it wide open for a reason. I know he's taking care of his new son and hanging out with his wife and all that fun stuff. So I can see those two coming up at some point. And if we gonna book it out, I think it's either gonna be to like maybe the Miz turns on Ciampa at some point in time, and Gargano runs down the aisle to
shit,
save
you
him.
mean
And
the
you
shit
got
I put
the
in the group chat on
DIY
Monday?
Express back.
Look at him. He can't even hold himself. He is so thirsty for the.
I was
give me
right,
the
goddammit.
accolades. Right.
Right.
A-Dub was
I
right.
said
I'm
that
so
shit
sick of being
first.
wrong.
Because I legitimately
So
think
the
that's going to
bracket
happen.
lowest-
though.
No, and I legitimately think so too. And if we were to stretch it out, if I was to go with something that's a little bit more of kind of like a reach, I would love to see Samoa Joe get a real run with Trips. I feel like when they brought him up to the main roster and he was choking out Rey Mysterio and everybody else on a weekly basis, and they went
Choked
away
out
from
Ali
that,
and
they
called him
killed him,
simple
man.
in
I
it,
know he
too.
had some injuries. Yeah, man. Like they played our guy, or my guy. At least I can't speak on y'all behalf.
But it was incredible.
Yeah, so I would like to see, like, that would be my fantasy release to come back would be Samoa Joe.
Fantasy
But Mo,
release.
right?
Relax.
Fantasy release. What's
Well,
your
now
fantasy?
the BA just right. Now the BA just told his
I already know
his
where, I already know where
fantasy.
he's going.
Um,
I already know where he's going with his.
Oh,
Let's
let's
hear
watch
it.
Dub be wrong again. Give it to me, Dub.
There's a lot of dub is wrong in this episode.
It is. I think
He's going with the lowest hanging fruit. You're going to say Bray.
Oh my God, he's right.
Oh yeah,
Dub
me and
was
E-Ray
right.
just grabbing around the bottom
there
of
it
the
is.
tree. Dub trying to
There it
climb
is.
up that bitch.
There it is.
I respect it.
Good job, Dub. How did you know? How did you know? That
I've
was
known you
impressive.
for like what?
I'm impressed.
Damn near 15 years?
I'm impressed by that. I thought that was gonna be like a shocker. I thought I was coming in with some sneaky Steph shit. I think the Bray comeback is going to be incredible. If it does happen, I think Bray's character, even though this is not necessarily a Trips thing, he understands creativity. He will allow Bray to do more of the shit that he wanted to do in the first place. Which Bray, if you know anything about his characters, he's been in creative control of like creating them. And then every time you see something that works, it's him. Every time the shit starts to fall apart, it was Vince or Kevin Dunn or whoever else people producing this
mallet?
bullshit. But every time, even the Fun House in its original entity or in original IP, the crazy mask, him holding his head of himself as a lantern, all this ridiculous, insane shit came from Bray's mind. Even the original Cape Fear Bray with the fireflies and all that shit. I can't wait. I want him to come back and be what he was supposed to be. He was never supposed to be like a guy that wins the championship. He was supposed to be like Kane. Just come back, wreak havoc, be horrible.
Be scary as fuck.
Be the Undertaker. They
Give kids
set him up to
nightmares.
be the new Undertaker, and then they never wanted to pull the trigger. So this is when he can actually, when he first came back as that new entity of Bray, and he was the Fiend, it was like his original thing was just getting revenge on people who wronged him. That was money, and it was amazing. And you were like, oh, it made you want to go back and start looking at, oh shit, how did he have an interaction with him? Oh, John Cena did this. Oh, so-and-so did this. And then after that, they just went really awry, made no sense. I watched him get smashed in the head with a mallet and get up from Seth Rollins. Yet one spear from Goldberg took him out in Saudi Arabia. Like,
5
what
minutes.
the fuck? Oh,
5-minute
man.
match.
Aggressively egregious. But yes, I think that would be amazing. Bring him back. I would say it would be too easy to do it during Royal Rumble. So you got to bring him back. It's something that matters, because the Royal Rumble, that means, like, would he have to win? So I wouldn't want it there. I need something.
I don't know.
like,
You can bring him back at Rumble. You just can't put him in the Rumble. You have him interfere.
Yes, yes, there we go. I was just thinking. I was
Yeah.
working my way there. So I was like, maybe not in the Rumble, but during a match where I'm trying to think, maybe Seth, this crazy Seth, is still doing his thing, and he always wants to take Seth out. So he comes back, or Roman, because Roman is the one who took
Anyone
the belt
but
from him.
you. Remember that? That was some of my favorite Bray stuff,
and
man.
him and Braun Strowman. So again, when they had the match, and it was evil Reigns that came in and took everything from him. So that would be great to come back, and he is the one that hurts Reigns and messes him up, and then Reigns loses to Cody by some weird thing, and they start their own program. Incredible. I would love.
Could you imagine Cape Fear Bray with Cody?
Yes.
You bring me to my next point, Dub. I was gonna ask,
character work.
What Bray do we get? Do we get some new character he's been drumming up in the background as he's been sitting around? Do we get these past incarnations, which I don't think will happen?
I think we get a new character for sure. But if we did get a past incarnation, it has to be Cape Fear Bray again. And Cape Fear Bray has to have no recollection of anything Firehouse Bray did, because Firehouse Bray is just somebody who completely went insane and created this entirely new set of personalities to protect himself. And Cape Fear Bray comes back like, I don't know what the fuck you guys are talking about, but you need to come follow these buzzard stuff. But I do think we get a new character.
I would take any incarnation, whether it's Cape Fear Bray, whether it's Firefly Funhouse Bray, or the Fiend Bray, like any of them would work, or a brand new character because he's so good, or just transitioning, kind of like Cactus Jack and Mankind. You never know which one you're gonna fucking get, and you just keep coming out different. Oh, that would be incredible because they're all great characters.
Yes, just like Do Love, Cactus Jack, and Mankind, all great incarnations of the same guy behind the gimmicks. But in my opinion, even though I love Firefly Bray more than the Fiend was a merch killer. Like, and I don't know, and this will tell me a lot about the Trips and Stephanie reign of that they have now. Like, if they brought back the Fiend, that will be the only reason why, is because of the merch aspect of what the Fiend brought. The mask, that ridiculous title they made.
I think Cape Fear Bray is the best Bray, so I agree with BA. Like, if they bring the Fiend back,
me too.
We print money again. We print money.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, that will tell me all day. Like, this is the Vince aspect of what they learned about how to run this, is that they about to just merch this shit out. But I hope I'm wrong.
Maybe, but I don't think that would be the only reason. I think you could bring back the Fiend because it was a fantastic character. Not only
I agree. I'm not at all.
But that's what I'm saying. You said it would be like the only reason they would bring it back. No, the reason why they bring it back because it's fucking amazing. So the wrong thing was the booking. The booking was terrible.
I think they bring it back.
So it sounds like you're more of a Fiend guy than a Cape Fear Bray guy. Then is that right, E? Is that fair?
No. I'm just saying, like, I like all Brays. Like, I think the creative, like, guys in each one of those characters.
Do you
is
like
fantastic.
all Brays?
But I do know.
Do you like all?
Huh? No.
Wait.
Yes, Bray.
Here we go.
Bray, not.
Do you like Bray that was gonna dress up as Sister
any
Abigail to go against the demon at Battleground?
That never happened, so I can't say if I like it.
God, I was about to say that was heavy rumor.
Oh no, it wasn't a rumor. It was going to happen. It was an advertised match. And then Bray got sick.
No, I know that, but
I got sick too. Yeah,
I thought you were going to try to pin me into Husky Harris, and I was like, that don't count.
No, dude, that don't count. That was NXT. Husky don't count. Harris. That's bullshit.
But that's what I was saying. I thought he was trying to pin me into it. I was like, I'm always ready. I'm ready to cover any side you coming at me.
That Husky Harris shit was traumatic for Bray, man. That shit was super traumatic.
But that's why you said, do the Muscle Man dance.
I love it. I love how he threw that shit back in Vince's face.
I love everything. But
creative
that's what I mean.
Genius.
Bray to the Fiend transition, that was such a good thing. And that's what I mean. If you bring back the Fiend, you're also bringing back that, like, Mr. Rogers Bray character, which was just so good because it was a dichotomous split of, hey, I'm good and I'm creepy and weird, and then this guy, you don't want to upset the bad guy, like Split. So I think that was genius on his part. So that's why I really liked it. But the Firefly Bray, I seen him win the title in Phoenix, Arizona at
was it Hell in a Cell?
Elimination Chamber. No, Elimination Chamber. I was
that entrance in real time, man.
Oh,
that shit had been fucking dope.
Yes. I still got that shirt. That's one of my favorite t-shirts to this day. He just came out. It was incredible because we were like, oh, there's no way he's getting it. Like, Cena's there. There's all these other people there. He's not winning the belt. And then he put him and Naomi won that night. That's nuts. And I was there. I was like, what the fuck? I couldn't believe the two people I never thought that was going to put the title on.
It was the brand split era, man. They were giving us what we wanted, especially on SmackDown.
Damn night.
Yeah. So that's just where that was. But I'm not like, I love that Bray, but I think just that new Bray was so interesting, that Fiend character, and they had so much meat left on the bone. They just didn't do it right. So I think that's why I'm more of a boisterous proponent of seeing that more than the Cape Fear Bray, which I think had opportunities still, but they let the character run longer. So both are great though.
What up, y'all? It's your boy Smiles, aka Hip Hop Adam Schefter, aka LaJosh James, aka for all the ladies, the Chocolate Sauce Bandit. You already know what it is. Tune into an Audible Ruckus every week, and don't forget to check out my two shows at Shot vs. Smiles and Music Impulse on all streaming platforms: Spotify, Apple, SoundCloud, Amazon Music, whatever. Tune in. It's your boy Smiles, and I'm out.
What messed up Cape Fear Bray was the whole like deleting Matt Hardy thing and the fight on the compound.
I disagree.
That was before that.
What messed him
what
up
type
was
of Bray
the losing.
I was gonna ask y'all.
He kept losing. With a character like that, with the way he spoke and like the way he orated to people,
with conviction,
you can't keep losing. Yeah, like he kept losing, so his words.
What I'm going through.
His words lost luster.
Cena. And he's like, oh shit.
Like he needed to beat Cena, or Cena needed to hit him with that chair. He needed a title, and he needed it quickly. Honestly, like that guy, the way he was talking, like. I'm not saying you put the WWE title on him immediately, but you needed to put that IC or US title on him immediately to give his words more weight. And once they didn't do that, and they had him keep losing because they were on this thing of like evil can't win and what we're trying to do and appeal to kids, that character got the loss on his luster.
Not in the rated E for everybody era.
Exactly.
Not to mention, and I'm going to disagree with you just a little bit because I still think you're onto something. I agree 1,000% that it was the losing, because when you speak with that much conviction, you just gotta win. They messed up where he did not beat Undertaker. That was egregious.
You stole my thunder. That's what I was gonna say. He didn't even need a title. That's what he needed. That's who should have got the first W on the Undertaker.
That was it
in the WrestleMania. That's all he needed.
Once they didn't do that, cool. Bray would disappear. Then he'd come back, get some more momentum. Then they had him lose to Cena. And you're like, what? Okay, then he finally wins the title. Then he has a fucking, haunted house match versus Randy Orton, and then lose the belt again. And it's like every time there's a lot of stops and starts. That's what killed him. So I don't think he needed a title quickly. It was certain missteps every time where you're like, at a certain point, by the time BA's talking about, we just didn't believe, we loved Bray's character as an underdog at this point. Because we're like, he's never winning. We knew he wasn't going to win. Anybody but you, Roman. Well, it ain't going to be you.
You're like, oh, yeah.
So it don't matter.
Like, oh, yeah, you're not beating Roman.
And that's why he said that.
We know you're not beating Roman, Bray. Come on now.
Right.
So, E-Ray, so to put a pin in all of this Bray stuff, the thing that would make the Fiend presentation better, I guess now, not better, but different, because it was already great, would be no Vince interjection of, well, let's add in this crazy thing.
Give him lightning powers.
Make it even more bonkers.
What?
Yeah. Why? Or throwing Alexa Bliss in the mix. That kind of shit. Wow. So right, I agree. That messed it up, in my opinion. That killed it. Having Alexa Bliss involved. It was fine until she just inherited his powers. It was great. It was stupid. I still liked it. Exactly. It made it.
There was so many things that I can see the potential in something. It's like watching a bad horror movie or a bad movie at any point. It's like Jumper is one of the greatest movies never to be good. I love that movie.
Needs a remake.
Specifically because the power, if you had the power to just fucking teleport, that's the movie. I don't need no random paladin people, police, no cyber nigga police on you. Just be a nigga that can teleport. Fantastic movie. But again, it did too much. Just like that, WWE has a potential of being like, hey, you know something great? let's add this and this. It's like, wait, you got a delicious waffle here. Why are we adding cinnamon and hot sauce and then butter pecans and fucking toaster strudels, iPhone 17s? I don't need all this shit.
They can just like stop with the supernatural altogether. Like, all right, you know what? Taker can control lightning. I'm fine with that. For some reason, I'll just let that work for the rest of my life. But no one else.
Fair. We were kids who getting worked by it. It's in your soul, Dub.
Yeah,
you can't
but no
help
one else
it
needs
now.
supernatural powers.
There.
Why was the ring turning into
I like
bugs
the
when
Boogeyman.
Bray was defending against Randy Orton?
I like the boogeyman. It's just it's about execution, because I don't need the ring to randomly turn into worms. That was stupid. But with Bray Wyatt just being able to like disappear, or you set him on fire and then he's like kind of in the back like Freddy Krueger, that's incredible. I love horror movies, so you give me some
that's
shit
not
that makes
supernatural.
sense.
That's just a crazy person being a crazy
Got
person.
killed.
Because you've been killing niggas in the ring for like 30 years. They lynched Big Boss Man.
True. I thought the Undertaker died at Royal Rumble '94.
Yeah, lynched him.
They
and then
did.
He, like,
WrestleMania
basically
15.
survived. He's like, oh, lynching. You set a nigga on fire.
They crucified Stephanie.
They tried.
They threw Undertaker in a coffin and they pushed him away and he floated out of the
Undertaker is
screen.
supernatural.
That shit still has traumatic effects on me
But
in
They
2022.
killed Paul Bearer
I
5
saw that
times
in
before he
94
actually
live.
died. R.I.P. to Paul Bearer.
Truth. Yes, R.I.P. He got burnt alive, killed, thrown in cement. They poured cement on the man. Like,
Kane
I don't know
got
how many
burned
ways you can kill a
alive.
dude.
We've seen it all, but that's the spectacle. And again, when you got a great character like Bray Wyatt / The Fiend,
Vince's car blew up and
can
Trump
lean
had to
into
call
it.
him to make sure he was okay.
Vince's car blew up, and then your boy
He was back
went-
next week.
Yeah, because your boy went psychopath on his family, so they had to like.
boy.
They're like, ooh,
Yep.
look. Oh, let me
Great times.
announce that we don't like any of this stuff. So
No. They did a whole tribute show to him, and then the next day
the
everything
next day,
came
sorry,
out.
did it.
And
Yeah,
we were like,
man.
But be that as it may, I still think
Yeah.
supernatural things are good. I love the boogeyman. The boogeyman coming to get you. Eat the worms. Love that shit. It always gets a pop out of me. I'm a cheap pop for bullshit, B-movie type shit. But make it make sense and don't ruin my favorite characters. Dexter Lumis had a house of zombies. There was a whole zombie referee the entire fucking the entire Lumis run. Hilarious. I love shit like that. But make it make sense, and I think Triple H will do that for me. But we're gonna get away from that. Anything else from Raw that was like entertaining or anything like that we loved?
oh man, they announced the women's tag title tournament. What else happened?
Profits match was fire.
We got Ciampa and Bobby Lashley on free TV.
I don't necessarily love that, but guess what?
And
That
they
means
put on a banger.
What's wrong again?
We got
Again, E-Ray.
Finn Balor and Rey Mysterio on free TV again. They put on a banger. Dominic Mysterio got beat up again.
Choked out by Rhea. He loves getting choked out by Rhea. I think
Love
it's low
it.
key like
Love
a
to see it.
enjoyment
I
thing
get
for
it.
him now. Yes.
Me too. Oh yeah,
She put them
he's
thighs on him once, and he stopped listening
Right.
to
I hope
his
I
dad.
bleed this time.
like, do it
Pushed
again.
the,
Make
pushed
me
the
wear
shit
leather.
out of Edge. Like, man, fuck you, homie.
Right. Like I said last week, I'm jealous of that moment, but we'll continue on.
Because this is a part of our job of booking the territory here. And let's make this really quick. But I want to know, is Dominic and Edge, like, what's going to happen? Which way is that going? Who's turning? It's either Dominic, Edge, or Ray at this point. I don't know which one.
Oh, it's Dominic. It's going to be Dominic, and it's going to be because of Rhea. Rhea's going to get in his
He gonna be
ear.
like, I love those thighs.
Yeah, like I've been beating your
thighs,
ass because I wanted
man.
you to see the light and get away from your father. And she's just gonna like be in his ear. It's not gonna have anything to do with Balor or Priest. But Dominic's like, yeah, you know what? You're kind of right. And them thighs though. And
Fuck KFC. I want them thighs.
when he turns, he's gonna turn and like attack Edge, and then just kind of walk away from his father and kind of give him the look like you a bitch, and then just kind of walk away from him. That to me, that's how the turn. Yeah, that's how the turn happens. Yeah, and he's still gonna wear the same gear. It's just gonna be black and purple. And E-Ray's still gonna hate him.
You're probably right. Yeah, you're probably true. VA.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but Dub is right on this one. I think this will be a Dominic turn. We've been wanting him to get out of this whole like, oh, I'm Rey Mysterio's son.
Nepotism.
I'm
6'9", doing a 619. I'm so
see
right.
what you did
Get
there.
the fuck off my TV, you tall, lanky, awkward motherfucker. Go away. So I low key want to see it, but they're teeing it up too, and I want to see it so we can finally see what this kid can do without his dad standing behind him and him overshadowing him as he stands behind him. So I'm here for it. I'm here for the Dominic Hill turn.
Yeah, you're right. I don't want to see that. I'm hoping Edge just because I hate Dominic. Heel Dominic's not going to make him better. It's going to be cornier.
But it's better for the story.
Like, at least make it tolerable to watch.
Makes more sense.
It won't make me want to punch this kid in the face. At least I'm intrigued to see what he's going to do, and maybe I want to punch him in the face after. But at least I'm intrigued to see what's going to happen next. After what happened, maybe I still want to punch him in the face.
Then he'll reach
right
the
now,
other
side.
Yeah.
That music still slaps.
Punch him in his eyes.
That music still slaps.
Yes, absolutely. So for the sake of time, we're gonna blow through that. Great analogy, guys. I'm happy to hear that. Yes, we all want to see. No, we don't. I'm not even fucking lying. I want to see this motherfucker fail.
He can't even fake it.
Go in the back. Go to the NXT level up. All right, get off my TV. But speaking of things that we no longer want to see on our TV, never mind. Joking.
Where's he going?
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. I was gonna say AEW guys. I was joking. I'm joking.
AEW, this is like the toilet paper on people's shoe when they walk out of a bathroom. Like, you got toilet paper on your shoe. Oh, goddamn.
I thought I got rid of this shit.
Honestly,
get this shit off me.
AEW isn't that bad at all. But I have
no,
a right.
It's not.
I'm going to bring this to you guys. I don't want you to agree or disagree. Just hear me out here. How many more consecutive random named television events can they come up with?
That's where he was going.
We had Fighter Fest for the 5-year-olds, and then Fallen Fighters in the firefighting fest lane. Then we had Quake by the Mistake in the Lake. Now we're going to have House of the Dragons, and then Rest the Roast, like roasting chestnuts on an open fire. Like, what the fuck? Too much. Is it too much?
The 12 days of Christmas in July. We're in August now. Right. Sorry, guys. We meant to get that one in July.
We'll be back with all of y'all coming
I just want to let you know you missed one. Did you guys know Battle of the Belts 3 happened on Saturday?
No one did.
I do, and the only reason why I know that, Dub, is because I was looking through the TV guide on my TV, and I saw it coming on TNT Saturday night. I was like, an hour-long AEW event? I was hearing about it on the show. So, yes, I did know about it. I saw the card. I saw Claudio was defending his Ring of Honor title, and I said, nope, I'm not wasting my Saturday night.
I get
Sorry, AEW. I was like, I'll just hear it from the fellas on the pod, and YouTube will.
You didn't watch it the same way I don't watch NXT
Sorry.
UK. I totally get it.
Yeah.
Right, I know the card, but I didn't watch
exactly.
it. Touche. Spade calling a spade. Hello, how you doing?
Nice.
I got you.
Well, on to nicer things. Was it Quake by the Lake?
Yes.
Earthquake by the Lake and Mistake in the Jake.
Yeah, like a level on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Shredder's
like,
Revenge. Yes,
Quake. Yeah, I don't know what's happening, but it was actually a really good show. So you got to go there. For some reason, Ari Daivari and Harlan are now all elite. I didn't know that, but that's cool.
They're not on Dark anymore. They've
Oh.
been there, but I guess you become all elite when you leave
Yeah,
the YouTube.
because
rabbit
that's when
hole.
you actually get signed.
Guess you're
'Cause
allowed to be
like
all
if they ain't
elite.
putting you on TV, you on Dark, you ain't got no contract. You working on a 10-day. Like
Yeah,
like,
for real,
you
for
got-
real. You working on this
Right.
this Taco Bell combo we gonna pay you that you
bought
signed off
one
on.
7-layer
toss.
burrito.
Think you all elite.
you botch one hip toss and your
Right.
ass is out of
Think
here.
you all elite.
You're like, oh shit.
Hell yeah. Take
Right.
the chalupa and get the fuck
TK
out
watches
of my face.
Botchamania to see if anybody from Dark is on there. Taking fire.
Supreme. And I cut the Supreme. Supreme. Yeah.
That what Dub just said, that is 100% what Tony Khan does. You cannot tell me he don't. That is 100%.
All right, so
facts.
let's get into Rampage
that's
a little bit. First to start off with Darby Allin getting beat up, one of my favorite things in
For
the
a
entire
long
world.
time.
This is America's favorite path, like baseball and apple pie.
Darby Allin beat
Darby
down.
Allin getting his ass whooped.
No, Darby, no.
Right. Oh, it's just Darby. He kind of likes it. Look at him. He's just taking it every week, twice a week. Sometimes on Dark.
Right, sometimes on Thursdays. What? Battle of the Beats. That's like what? That's like they make a whole show just for him getting beat for an hour.
DJ's
Hell
making
yeah.
mixtapes of Darby
I've watched
Allin
those
beat up
clips.
mixtapes.
YouTube creators, help me out. Put it together
That's
for
a
me. I'll
supercut.
watch that shit.
The
I'll
That's
give
the
you
new
some.
and
Darby
one.
Beats.
That's the new and one mixtape. Darby Allin getting his ass
Him
beat
just falling through shit and getting beat up. Just
over
coffin
new
dropping
alternative
off
rock
into
songs.
nothing.
Adrenaline. Oh my god. Yes, I would love to watch Darby Allin get throttled over like the new cover of like Stained or some shit. I don't know.
Oh yeah. That's coming soon,
It
probably.
probably exists. YouTube. We're
Oh,
we're on the
sure.
hunt. Give us
Oh shit!
don't
Help
let us
us out,
down.
YouTube.
Hosted
But,
by Dan Housen.
Yes.
us some content.
So I'm gonna brush through this. Slow me down if need be. But yes, we seen Darby Allin catch the beats. Then
Won that match
somewhere
though.
I didn't really see it, but sure. Brody King beat the shit out of him. Cool. Then we had some more like shenanigans. Ass boys
Shenanigans.
possibly getting recruited by Big Stoke. Interesting. He kind of daddy ass shoot him off. Cool. I like
Team Stoke. Team Stoke.
Say it every week. Big Stoke is becoming.
he's a
Jimmy
major
Hart,
player.
Man.
I like
He's just
it.
managing
I
all
like
the.
it.
Yes, let's say that's how that Jimmy Hart vibes.
What else happened that I really locked in on? Damn, it was something that just popped in my mind that I really liked from the show and I forgot. Just like that.
Lucha Brothers versus Andrade
It
and
must not have been that
Roosh.
great.
Nah, I didn't care about that. Did y'all care? I'm sorry. I don't like tornado tag matches. They're just too chaotic for my mind. Give me that pure rules.
They've always been that way to me too.
Tag team action. I need a hot tag. When people are just beating the shit out of each other, like this is like a wrestling orgy. I don't like it. Like it's too aggressive. It's like, whoa, this is too much.
I mean,
you gotta
some cool shit happened, but I guess they're just gonna keep this going. Roosh is
can I-
really fucking talented.
I want to ask you a serious question, BA, and I just need you to answer yes or no, for the sake of time. Can you tell the difference between Penta Oscuro and Penta Acero Miro?
Absolutely.
Thank you. You're not the only one. Just wanted to know. Just needed to know that.
And I know it's not just me. That's like one. Yes, I'm glad you brought that
You're
up
like,
because
oh,
I
Penta
thought the
went
same
back
thing.
to
Like, I
this
can't
because
tell.
he was that, and now he's this. What's the
like,
difference?
wait a minute. There's two Pentas.
I was like,
what?
one, he just don't
Yeah,
say.
I seriously had that thought.
Middle. Like now he just like, oh, like okay, whatever.
I
guess.
mean, don't get me wrong. Neckbeards, hear me out.
the neck beards
Don't get me wrong. That shit is
He's
cool.
not white. His name ain't
True.
Steve.
They don't. But I don't want them coming after me. I don't want them coming after me saying, "How you gonna shit on our lucha libre? They don't even have this shit in WWE." I don't
got the
need
greatest
that drama,
luchador of
man.
all
I don't want our
time.
pie page
And
getting
Rey Mysterio.
inundated by that. Right. Exactly.
Let's go.
Legado.
I was about to say.
Anyway.
Legado.
I'm good, guys.
But yes, absolutely not.
But yes, that random tornado tag of fury happened. That's what I was getting at.
Jay
You
Cargill?
had the Starks story continues. And I seen him come out the crowd. He played up to the audience. He just in the crowd. And then he started guitaring to his own music. And I was like, oh yeah, he's out of there. He's out of here. He's going to the moon. Ricky Starks is doing fantastic work. I see the babyface turn is working. The crowd is getting behind it. And I wanted to see what you think about it, because this is your guy.
97 Rock, man. I'm telling you.
Yo, it's E-Ray, the quasi bad guy, the Diet Coke of evil, the side god of pod, and I'm here to tell y'all, come check out my show, Binge Flicks and Chill. You never know what you're gonna get, but we always talking some good shit when it comes to television and the latest movies. So we want to bring y'all in. We want to make sure you have a good time. You learn something, you laugh, you cry, you might stab a nigga or two. I don't know what you're gonna get, but that shit's popping. So come check out Binge Flicks and Chill. And it's me, E-Ray, and I'm out. Yeah.
Like, he's what like Rock would have been had Rock kept that Flex Kavana character throughout his entire run and then just had the success that we've seen him have now. Like, Ricky's got all the things that you need. The charisma, the mic work, his in-ring work is it's awesome to watch. And he picks up on the little things. Dude, he's just so good at what he does.
Little Ricky Kavana.
Exactly.
I like Ricky Starks, man. Ever since I saw him, I was like, I'm liking so far. I'm sold on the babyface run of him. I still think he's always going to be a natural heel, just about how he carries himself, how he talks. But I'm here for the change. Let's see. Like, this will make a great
natural
wrestler.
heel because he's just cooler than everybody, especially everybody at those shows. But like the face turn just kinda,
big facts. That's the biggest.
Yeah, like because he can't face turn on his own. Like the Hobbs turn had to make him face.
Because we're gonna get to it.
Agreed.
But that's also the issue, or not the issue, but that's also the same case with kind of that main title picture. Very similar, but we'll get back to that. I love what's happening with Ricky Starks. I also love what's happening with Will Hobbs.
But what worries me is about Starks is like after the Hobbs stuff is done, where does he go? Does he go main title? Does he go after the TNT title? Like, because Wardlow's not giving that title up anytime soon. Unfortunately,
nah.
Or does he go after the?
I think that makes him. I think that TNT title against Wardlow, that match makes him, and that win or lose,
he's gonna lose that match. But I agree, it's gonna be a banger.
Yeah, win or lose, I think that's what solidifies.
It'll showcase him.
So you guys don't want him to go after the Underground Railroad Transatlantic title at all? If they ever let Pac come home?
No, because he's just on the COVID monkeypox tour of hell. It's like go everywhere, defend this shit anywhere.
He already held a title that meant nothing. So why would he hold another title that means nothing?
You know what's funny about that title? That title is a legit world title because they kicked him out the country and made him defend it all over the world. I'm like,
I get it. It looks cool. The concept is great. It's just too new for me to buy in all the way right now. They got that title's got to get a little bit of. Gotta get a little
make the title in that case.
Gotta get some miles to it.
I gotta see it more on TV, and you can't be going against some random dude that I don't know who the hell he is.
Yeah, man, keep these indie freak shows off my TV if you gonna be defending this title. Like defending against people in your goddamn promotion, please. Is that too much?
You talking about how Dean defended against Mance Warner last week?
That too.
Dude, all right,
that's it. He ain't just grown.
That's it.
Wait. BA, before you go there, I gotta pause him. We still got one more thing. I'm gonna try to get through this as fast as possible, like Excalibur. And then we had Jade Cargill come out. Jade Cargill came out with Big Stoke, and she came out with Kiera Hogan. Kiera Hogan was like, "Oh shit, we about to win." They had a good versus some shit. The bitch got too much offense in. Yeah. that was my whole
Then her
summation.
labia was shown on the hard cam. Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna try to avoid that because I love Jade, but I was like,
I
but
love
that
Jade too.
cameraman
That ain't her fault.
sick.
Don't put that on Jade. That's on that terrible cameraman that hopefully got fired after
terrible or just
that. Or hero, depending on how you look at it. Yes, depending on the
Neck
time of the
beard's a
day
lot.
is what I'd call him. Terrible or
But-
hero.
No, but seriously, Jade Cargill went against what was it,
Madison
Misty,
Rain.
somebody Misty some
Former
Madison
New
Rain.
Impact
girl,
Knockouts
Columbus,
champion, 10-year vet, blah 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 blah.
Yeah, she looks like a throwback WWE diva, and
Yes,
she got a lot of offense in. It was a pretty decent match. I seen a lot of the slow work, but it made Jade look good. Made whatever her name is, I already
Madison
forgot her
Rain.
name. White Steve, Woman Steve. It made her look good too. And then at the end of the day, yeah, I think I was asking in the group chat as the match was going. I was like, serious question: when was the last time we seen Athena? And like, as if the wrestling gods heard me, she appeared and came out from behind Jade as Jade was celebrating her 36-0, looking amazing. And then she was about to hit her with some moves. She kicked her, punched her, and kicked her out the thing. And then they're back at it again. So love that. I thought that was incredible. My personal thoughts. I was wondering like who's going to take that belt off of Jade, and will they allow it to be Athena? Dub.
I think it has to be Athena. Because Statlander's
because of how she dogged her on Twitter.
Yeah,
for,
pretty
for
much.
a year straight.
pretty
Roasted her to pieces.
Statlander's hurt.
Bitch, you unemployed.
Ruby's
Broke bitch.
Ruby's barely treading water. Can we still talk about how Excalibur said Athena was disguised as a baddie? I'm like, yo, that's a crazy way of saying she's not attractive.
That's problematic. Yeah, I was like, that's hella
But-
problematic.
But she was in a baddie section. I get
no,
what he was saying.
I totally get what he
Like-
was saying, but it's just when you hear it out loud, it sounds nuts.
Hey, man.
Her husband might think she's a baddie.
I gotta say all
Don't
the
be too
time.
woke, Dub. Don't be too
Perception is
woke.
reality, and that statement makes it sound like, what is this dog doing in the baddie section? Like that's just it's fucked up, man.
It couldn't have been if she was in the baddie section the whole time and then she came out. That's what I'm saying. I think y'all are just being too.
I just
woke
think it's
about it.
funny. I just
Like, put your Donald Trump song. Put your.
I got my red hat
your
backwards. Let
orange
me
man
put it
glasses.
forward.
Oh Lord.
oh
It's just a Nike. This
BA
Nike
getting
swoosh
too much
show.
money now.
Right? No. Just a Nike swoosh on this hat. No
Right.
4-word
Uh-oh.
slogans are on my hat, even though it's red.
BA's new AKA MAGA Man X. Like no.
No, I'm not saying that on this show. Fuck no.
but no, Athena has to be the one to take that
Shoot
belt off.
red
Jade.
cartridges at people. Red laser beams.
From the way everything is shaken down, it has to be Athena to take that belt off of Jade because it sets up Jade perfectly to take that belt off of Thunder Rosa. Because you can have her, beat Britt while Britt is slowly breaking up with her squad, and then next up you can have her beat Toni Storm or insert random New Japan woman here, and then next up is Thunder Rosa.
So does that make her a face now? So does she go face during that while she beating up Britt and probably Jamie Hayter? And
I don't think she has to, man. Britt Baker can be nothing but a heel.
I don't think so. I think because like you just do it as a one-off and you're using it to break up Britt and Jamie, that it can just be a contenders match. You know, like two of the top women on the women's roster, and then Jamie ends up costing Britt Baker the match somehow, or like just not interfering in the right way. Jade wins. Jade keeps it moving. But then Britt and Jamie kind of get into their thing, and you decide who's going to be the face out of that. And then she goes forward, dog walks Toni Storm, dog walks Rio, or whoever else they want to put in front of her again. And then she gets Thunder Rosa at All Out.
Her and Thunder Rosa could be money, but and Thunder Rosa is such a good worker. She's going to make that match look great. That's my only issue. Because once Jade wins that belt, then I'm like, when did she lose it? Is she gonna pull a Roman on that bitch? Because it's like, all right, well. But be that as it may,
I know who she loses it to. Jade loses that belt to Ruby. It gives them that chance to finally build Ruby in the way they should have in the beginning.
If they gonna do that,
long-term booking,
That
long-term
shit is
booking,
so
yeah,
far from
long-term
now.
I was about to say, man, and not only that, that's the longest term booking, bro. Because the way they've been booking Ruby, if that happens, I don't see any other way she becomes relevant.
It's gotta be long. It's gotta be like long-term booking, like all out next year.
Yeah, because she's still chilling on Dark.
All
man.
out 3 years from now.
We talking about people when the last time you seen them. When the last time you seen Ruby Soho on anything not on YouTube outside of what was that last pay-per-view we saw?
That random thing that she should have won, the Bret Hart.
The Owen Hart tournament. That's the last time I seen her in anything relevant.
No, Ty Conti broke her hand in that one thing, and that's why Eddie Kingston's more mad. Like, you hurt my Ruby and whatever.
Oh, get the fuck out of here, Eddie Kingston.
All right. Anyway, to the main event, guys. This was actually fantastic. It was Lionheart Chris Jericho. That's long-term story booking. He came out with the Lionheart Chris Jericho music from like 1992.
Oh, and WCW shit.
and the gear and even the Titantron, everything was retro. I kind of liked it, but I was still like, this is silly. But whatever. I'm a big Judas guy, so it was cool to see it different. And then, of course, the most over guy in the company, Moxley, comes out, and the crowd goes wild to Wild Thing. That pop is still crazy. And they proceeded to have a match. And you know what I always say? Whenever you see Moxley must bleed.
Or choke out an Asian.
Or both. If he can get the 2-for-1 combo, he's had a great weekend.
Oh yeah, so, especially if it's Tuesday special. Bring it up.
$3.99? Are you out of your mind? But yeah, we had Jon Moxley versus Lionheart Chris Jericho, and I think as soon as the bell rung, somehow like a piece of metal ricocheted into the ring and cut Moxley, and he started bleeding immediately. and from there, it was just a blood-soaked.
No, Jericho ripped out his ear.
Match. It was so. That's how his forehead.
That blood just came from everywhere else, and it just kind of covered it.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. Sure. Anyway,
Ric Flair blade jobs, man. It's out of control.
Right. Because Mox will bleed. He doesn't care. And it works because people love it. People love him. And then Chris start bleeding. They were like, we're just bleeding together, guys. Monkeypox, COVID doesn't exist.
Oh, yeah. All the fluids, all the bodily fluids just mixing together.
Bloodborne pathogens for everybody.
Right, exactly. Let's create a new virus, guys.
All those unshowered people
all
there.
In the name of wrestling.
The lack of fucking deodorant in that room. Anyways, yeah. Continue.
We'll be in the Target Center. But, anyway, the match, in my opinion, was fantastic. I really enjoyed the work rate. There wasn't nothing crazy. It was just brutal. They fought back and forth. You had some bulldog chokes that were nearly escaped. You had a real lion tamer where he just really cranked that shit, put the knee on his neck. And I'm like, oh shit, this is some good shit. That's always my favorite. And then all the blood in the ring. I have one complaint about this match, but I'll save it. Thoughts on the match? BA, you go first.
That's the only thing that got me to want to even cut on Dynamite was when I saw that advertised. I was like, oh, that'll be fun. Like, watch Mox and Jericho get it in. They always have a fun match. Shit delivered, like you said, E-Ray. It was a bloody mess, as all last matches in AEW anything is, it seems, these days. Yeah, and I'm the most exciting part, which I'm not gonna steal your thunder, was when the look in my eyes, what do you see? That's what that hit.
Stole the thunder. Right. I think
sorry.
you just.
I kind of called it, but
like-
I couldn't help it. I was like, I didn't want to, but I had to say it. I had to.
That's like when you was like. Like, I know I should stop, but I can't. Oh, it's all over me and you. Oh, it's all over
That was
the world.
definitely
Yes,
Thursday night
sorry.
WCW.
Grab
BH
a
stole all
towel.
the thunder.
Right. Yes, no pun intended.
Yes.
Dub's the rapper, guys.
Pun-
if you didn't
pun
know,
was intended,
Dub's the rapper.
yes.
Yeah.
So
Dub, your thoughts?
I love the match. I felt it was a little long, and like both guys looked gassed at the end. But I guess that was kind of the point of, man, Moxley wins by a hair. But I feel like they could have did that with three to four less minutes. But that's neither here nor there. I might have just been getting tired because I'm old. I had no complaints with the match. I did kind of feel like Punk was coming back when I saw what time it was when the match was over. I said, we still got 5 minutes left.
And all the people running in the ring too at the end.
Okay.
Yeah.
BA, number twice. I said number twice. I can't even get my words out. He stole my thunder twice. BA is just not going to let me have it. Just not going to let me have my moment. Damn it.
No soup for you.
Nice. No soup for you. Damn, soup Nazi BA. Yes, guys. The end of the match, my only gripe with the match was the fact of how it all ended and how everything came to be. I understand that Moxley's a made man. So, honestly, putting him over didn't even need to be, in my opinion, because Chris Jericho, I can't remember the last time Jericho won. So, I would have liked to just see Jericho. Well, I mean, of course, Eddie Kingston, that doesn't count. But just saying, like, against, like, a main guy that you know he should win. I think Eddie Kingston is basically in a Bray Wyatt type of role at this point. Like, damn, he talks a great game, and he's going to lose, like, every time. So, again, that's how I feel about that. But for me, I don't think he needed to lose at all. If you were going to not turn Chris Jericho face and still have the Gias come out to save him, the Gia Society come out to save him, and then all that shit, just have them interfere before he taps out to Mox. And then there you go. You have this whole fucking hullabaloo, and then the music hits. And the crowd still goes wild. Jericho still has a claim to some of that title, so that way you can throw him. Yes, so you can throw him in there at any point in time. It's like, I didn't lose. I don't care what you say. I was not going to tap. But now we have it on TV that he tapped. So that's what my biggest complaint about that match was. It didn't have to actually go to completion when you knew you were going to have everybody come out. And
because it puts Jericho back to the back of the line again.
Well, that, but also because if you're going to do that, you typically have Jericho tap out if he's going to face turn. If he taps out, then he gets up, gives them the sign of respect. So that's where it's like, y'all mixed up like 3 different endings, and this could have been better in either fashion if you would have went through it either of those ways. And maybe I'm just tripping, but I just personally think you could have had a smosh finish here, get to CM Punk to really pop the crowd, and nobody would have cared because people were slipping on blood. That's how much blood was in the ring. Eddie Kingston had blood on him. Fucking Wheeler Yuta had blood on him. Neither one of these people bled. They just were slipping on other people's blood. It was like fucking blood sport. Like the Kumite just happened in the ring, and then everybody just got in there. So it was nuts in that regard. But the CM Punk comeback was amazing. I popped. I'm a fucking mark. And Moxley, he's the same thing that we said about Starks. Mox is like a natural heel. He's giving a finger to everybody. He's bumping people, doing ignorant shit, but it still works as a face. And he goes and bumps Punk. Punk clearly just saved his ass. He flips off Jericho. Then he goes bumping chests and uglies with what's his name? Damn, I can't even think of my man's
Wheeler
name.
Yuta?
Claudio?
No, Castagnoli. Claudio Castagnoli.
Oh yeah, that's who that was at the end. Yeah, I don't know why I thought it was Wheeler Yuta.
So again, so many things happen, and I was like, I didn't need all of that. We could have had something so much better. but it just didn't actually come to fruition. Am I tripping? Or any other thoughts?
You're not tripping, not really. Part of my issue with that ending was the Jericho Society standing toe to toe with Blackpool and Eddie Kingston. Blackpool has another 2 of your titles, one of them being a world title. Like, what are we talking? Those guys should have came through and cleared house.
They have all the titles. There's only one person in the Blackpool Combat Club not named
William Regal.
fucking Lord Regal
Exactly.
that doesn't have a title.
Right.
And that's Daniel Bryan. He's gonna win some type of title next
And
week.
he don't
the House
need
of Dragons
one.
belt.
His street cred.
Bryan
speaks for
Danielson wins
itself.
the House of Dragons egg title. Like, what is that? I don't know.
Right.
We'll
Whatever.
get into
It must be
next week.
cool because Bryan
Right.
Danielson's holding it.
Him versus Daniel Garcia.
But I will say the
Dragons.
Punk entrance and like he kicks Angelo Parker in the face. I thought that was funny. I thought it was funny when Sammy decided to jump out the ring that Punk just moved. I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I missed like a minute of
old
action
man
because I
veteran
was too
move.
busy laughing at that. I said that's fucking
That was
hilarious.
hilarious.
Threw his ass
Sammy
like
was
leg first into the fucking stairs.
It was incredible. So I loved all that stuff. Again, it was a fucking blood fest. It looked like that show Wipeout. Everybody was slipping on blood, doing goofy shit. All you just had to do is take off that sound and put in like some goofy blooper sound, like bloink. It been same show. It's been incredible. But I'm guessing Punk versus Moxley is coming.
All Out is
at
Labor
All
Day
Out?
weekend, so probably.
Yeah.
That-
That'll be Punk's first
quickly
match.
predictions for, because they're gonna unify those belts, and it looks like Punk is possibly healthy. I think that's what he was showing us with the jumping on the foot.
Oh, you put that belt back on Punk and you let him rock and like shit. Give Moxley some time off. He's been bleeding on TV for 6 months now. Give that man a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
When he wasn't choking out Asians, he was bleeding on TV.
That's a good call.
And sometimes he was doing both. Exactly.
If not both.
No,
Right, I was like, if not, get
you
the
put that
2-for-1
belt back
special.
on Punk, and then like at some point we get our Punk Daniel Bryan match that they've danced around since Punk's been there. At some point you get a Punk Adam Cole match. So you're talking about 2 Ring of Honor legends at different times. You can get Punk Samoa Joe again to rehash that. There's just so much to do with Punk, and we've seen a lot of the things you can do with Mox. To me, there's just so much to do with Punk going forward. I think you put that belt back on Punk. I don't care how it happens. I don't care if Punk goes super heel.
But is he up to it? Is he up to it? Because the last time we seen him, he didn't look like his best versus the other Adam. Adam.
He don't look like he's ready right
Look,
now. That's on. He was limping around still, even though he jumped on his foot. Yeah, still had a nice little limp.
My whole
to him,
thing,
on the way down
about
to
the whole
aisle. You
Punk
can't
run
ignore
is that he looks gassed against everybody. But like if they're gonna do it, if they're committed to putting the belt on him and just giving the fans that pop when the music hits and nothing else matters, then you run with it and you give people these dream matches they want for however long this run lasts. Because the way you see his matches going,
right?
This run ain't gonna last too much longer.
Nah, I don't. Yeah, that's a
Like
great
you got
point,
Moxley
but
from
I
like
don't
5 to
see
7
much
years. You got Punk for maybe 2. Maybe.
wrestling. Yeah, he gonna be an EVP and chill. I don't see because his body can't take much more of this, man. Like you said, Dub, he's been like blown up and gassed at the end of most of his matches since he's just been back in general.
Yeah. He clearly has not been working out with AJ in the right way. I would have been working.
Figuratively and literally, yes, you are correct.
Boom, shakalaka.
But I mean, to answer your question, E-Ray, and to Dub's point, Punk has to win that title back from Mox. I don't know if he does it all out because maybe they got to build it up. I think we all expect that to happen, and I would hope as Tony Khan kind of books things around, he may prolong it a little bit longer as far as Punk winning that at some point, but not just immediately at all out. So it'll happen, but to Dub's point, you got to see him go against a lot of the guys that we haven't seen him go against yet since he got there, the guys that we've been fantasy booking in our mind since we knew he was coming back, we got to see that before this run is over. And then whatever happens after that, I feel like is icing on the cake, because I think we've seen what he is now and what we can give us. I mean, and it's not going to be the Punk of it's not going to be pipe bomb Punk.
Not the summer of Punk.
No,
not the summer of Punk.
And it's not. And we can't expect that, because he's not that dude. He's not that age anymore. He's been through some things. He's looking at this differently. So
how old is CM Punk?
I believe he's in his mid-40s.
43, I believe.
Damn. I had to do the Kevin Hart. I just needed to do
my players, my football players was doing that all day today in practice. They came to me like, Coach, when you graduate from high school? I was like, 2005. They was like, damn, you old. Fuck you.
It never gets old.
25 up now. Beat your goddamn face.
CM Punk is 43 years old. Jokes. All of 43.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Every bit of it.
So, unfortunately, guys, we're running out of time. We will not be able to talk about the best television show, wrestling show every week. NXT 2.0 this week. We will get back to it next week. We'll double up on the 2.0 because they do got Heat Wave coming up or whatever that shit's called.
I was gonna say, we can save all the NXT talk for that.
Yeah, so that's going down. But, ladies and gentlemen, this has been another episode of Let Me Book the Territory. I hope you loved all the wrestling commentary and all the things that we had going on. We'll have more shit for you next week. But, guys, let them know where they can find you. BA, where can they find you? Nowhere, because I'm a smoke bomb ninja.
Exactly. Fade away like fucking Billy and Jimmy Lee in Double
BAP
Dragon.
history.
No.
What he's done.
Right, exactly. Trying to go back in time. You know me, just time traveling, jumping through different portals and quantum leaping and shit. Outside of that, when I'm not quantum leaping around, you can catch me running our illustrious show page, the greatest wrestling podcast page on Twitter, at Let Me Book Pod. I've been kind of after SummerSlam. I got to get my juices flowing again, get back in it, get back live tweeting at these different weekly shows. But yeah, you can find me there. I just recently took a step away from I-71 Fast Break, which is going to be reincarnating into some different things. I'll let J-Mo talk about that when he comes back on the show. But yeah, I had to put my focus here because I got some other things brewing that are going to be coming soon in the fall. So that's where you can find me at. Just as of now, just running our illustrious show page at Let Me Book Pod. Come check us out.
Nice.
First of all, the Let Me Book timeline is looking just amazing. A lot of baddies on there. A lot of baddies
glorious.
on there. Anyways.
No comments.
No comments for me either. Sorry. Not getting me going. I'm not going down that slope.
Just don't follow Amari Miller.
She just reactivated her Twitter too. Anyway.
She should deactivate it. Because
she should get banned like Trump.
There it is. But ladies and gentlemen, if you guys are looking for me,
ban.
every Tuesday I'm at Embrace the Turn Up with the homie John, talking all the cultural commentary you need about this culture that we live in. If you want to hear a really great A-Dub rant, last week's Inaudible Ruckus episode, when they were talking about the trade of the century in, I guess, geopolitical terms, I had some thoughts. Other than that, on these socials, you can find me at ADUB1220 on everything. And I will see y'all next week.
Love it. And I, Payne Malenko himself, the American Cream Brody Loads, Macho Man Vandal Savage, yeah. You can find me at E_RAY_ the bad guy on Instagram. Still getting my Roman Games on, being their tribal beef. I did just kind of rep 245, 250 last week. I'm feeling really good. And things are progressing nicely. Other than that, you can also find me every Saturday on the release for, I would say Embrace the Turn Up. No, you can't find me there yet, but I'm sure Dub will want me on because I'm great. But Inaudible Ruckus, you can find me there. Last week's episode was fantastic, featuring our tribal chief A-Dub, as well as Audie G, giving it up, having a great conversation about relationships, and Brittany Griner. Hilarious. Nonetheless, but you can also find me there. Go binge all the latest episodes, all 15 from the season 1 of Binge Flicks and Chill. Binge Flicks season 2 will be hitting sometime this fall. We're reworking, retooling some things and getting y'all some good content, watching a lot of shows. And if you want to interact with me on the Twitters, you can find me at E_RAY the hipster, where I am talking about wrestling. And I'm going to stop watching so much Twitter filth because apparently my algorithm is fucked. And I just be like, what? I don't even want to see this. Get this out of here. But other than that, guys, as Dub loves to say, to sweet me when you see me, everything is wrestling, and let the madness wash over you. Yeah. And we're out of here.
Peace.